or the match of the year. The candidates included Seth Rollins versus The Miz from Backlash for the Intercontinental Championship, Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy in a no disqualification match from the July 3rd edition of 205 Live, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose from Hell in the Cell for the Raw Tag Team titles, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair from Evolution, Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas from TakeOver Philly, and the NXT North American Championship ladder match from TakeOver New Orleans. So all great matches here. In last place, tied for last place, was Miz and Rollins, and then the tag team title match, which were both great matches, but the other matches were better. Ali and Murphy with 3% of the vote. 24% of the vote went to Becky and Charlotte. 28% went to the TakeOver ladder match, the 6-man ladder match from TakeOver New Orleans. And then Gargano and Almas winning out with 40% of the vote, which was an amazing match. We saw it live. It was probably the best NXT match I've ever seen. In addition to the ladder match and Gargano and Ciampa from TakeOver New Orleans, which is also up there as one of the best matches of 2018. But yeah, got to go with Gargano and Almas. I voted for that, and I thought it was the best match, not only because we were there, but they had a great feud, told a great story. The in-ring action was excellent. I cannot argue against Gargano and Almas being the best match for WWE/NXT in 2018.
Man, I voted that match as well. The match was amazing. Especially being there live and rewatching it. Just like you said, just like the feud that they had built up. Basically, it was Johnny's basically at that point his last chance. He's basically the lovable loser. Finally gets the big win. I could have sworn he was going to win. That he kind of like built up like that was going to be his big break. He's going to win. And almost beating him, just like deflated the crowd. And then Ciampa attacking Gargano afterwards, great too. That match was great. I think I would say if you were going to do like multi-man match of the year, the ladder match from NXT or New Orleans would have easily won. That match was amazing too. It's just tough with that too because you're comparing a ladder match to a singles match. Mm-hmm. But I think singles best match of the year and best NXT match all around was definitely Gargano and Almas. Charlotte and Becky from Evolution was really good as well. I don't even know what the other two. What were the other options? Murphy and Ali was a really good match. They had a couple good series of matches though too. But I think that just didn't get. They're not on regular TV, so the love's not there for them. But I just think NXT just this year around had a good year, and same with 205 Live. They really kicked it up a notch. So I'm not surprised that those were the highest winning votes as well as the women.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing with the main roster, too, I struggle to come up with, like, great matches from the main roster. I feel like the main roster this year really lacked, like, one great match. Like, they had Becky and Charlotte. I would argue that was probably the best match of 2018, just in general, not only for the women, but honestly, like, the other three options, I thought Rollins and Miz had a great match. That was probably the best match up to that point in the year for the main roster. Ali and Murphy was excellent. The tag team title match was great. I would have probably put either Brock and Bryan on here or Ronda and Charlotte, or probably Charlotte, Becky, and Asuka, but actually I probably would not have included that just because I already had Becky and Charlotte from Evolution. I probably would have included Bryan and AJ from TLC, with that, which I thought was also an excellent match. But beyond that, I feel like this year did not have like that one defining match that we all thought was like, oh, holy shit, that's the match of the year. Like, not an AJ versus John Cena, or, a couple years ago when we had Cena, Rollins, and Brock. Like, as soon as we saw that, we're like, okay, that's the match of the year for this year. Like, there's no question about it. This year, I feel like the main roster really lacked that. NXT had way better matches in 2018 compared to the main roster. I mean, you can come up with 3 from NXT alone, between Gargano and Almas, Gargano and Ciampa, any of the 3 matches that they had, and then the ladder match. And then a few others as well, like Dream and Ciampa had a great match recently, and Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano. So,
Black and Gargano.
Yeah, Black and Gargano, too, I would have included on here. But NXT just had way better matches on the whole. Was there any, like, if you had to say one, like, what was the best main roster match of the year, in your opinion?
Besides Becky and Charlotte, I thought the Triple Threat at WrestleMania was really good. Balor, Miz, and Rollins. Besides that, I couldn't really name you one.
I mean, again, Becky and Charlotte I thought was great, and Rollins had a couple great matches too, but that was about it. So hopefully the main roster has better matches in 2018. There wasn't. I mean, again, it's weird not including an AJ Styles match, but he did not have like that one classic match this year, including with Nakamura, which was disappointing. But aside from Bryan, I thought the Bryan match was amazing. I thought that was easily his best match of 2018. But yeah, I think Gargano and Almas is a safe bet here as the match of the year for 2018.